Hello, Algebra 1 class, it's Miss Odell, and right now I'm doing a video for you on 5.2, which is solving systems by substitution. This comes from pages 159 to 162. This is what we did in class. Talked about, I actually already gave you a pretty good background on this information, but I'm making a video here to hopefully help you guys understand it better. All right, if you look on the screen, I've got a chart here. And I want you to take notes on these steps, okay? Just ignore from this part up. Basically, that's a statement just saying that I can solve systems of two equations, and then the definition, which we talked about a lot of that today. All right, but right now I want you to look at the steps, all right? So write these down as I go through these. Step 1, okay? All right, step 1. Here we go, guys. Solve one equation for one variable. Now, remember that I told you that when you solve for that variable, you're really going to have a partial equation answer. That's what I like to call it. And I recommend that you choose an easy one. For example, here are your two equations. Y minus 2x equals 4, and 6x plus 2y equals 18. I would actually choose the first equation because y is alone. It has no coefficient, so it would be easier to solve for y by using this equation, okay? Now, let's go back and move over to step 2. When we solve for this, we're then going to substitute this partial answer, substitute the equation from number 1, which is this here, into the other equation, which is right here. You can see they pulled down 6x plus 2y equals 18. They brought it down. We solve for partial y, so y goes here. And I'll show you that in just a moment, okay? Step 3, you solve the new equation, okay? You're going to get the answer. You're going to substitute your answer to find the other variable. We're trying to find x and y. Now, let's do one of these together, or do this together. All right, so I've chosen my first equation, okay? Now, my first step is to solve one equation for one variable. All right, I'm going to solve for y because y is alone. So the inverse operation of a negative 2x is plus 2x plus 2x, okay? Which this cancels, and that gives you y equals 4 plus 2x. You see where that came from? Right here. Y equals 4 plus 2x. Now, I'm going to bring this y equals 4 plus 2x. I'm actually just going to bring the 4 plus 2x down here, as you see the little arrow down here, and it's going to be substituted into the second equation. So 4 plus 2x. Now, that brings me to step 2. Substitute the equation from number 1 into the other equation. Here I have my partial equation. I'm substituting him there. So, let's solve. So 6x I'm going to bring down, plus 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 times 2x is 4x equals 18. Now, I'm going to combine my like terms and move my whole number over, okay? So I'm going to move my whole number over first. So minus 8, that cancels, and that gives me a 6x plus 4x equals 18 minus 8 is 10. 6x plus 4x is 10x equals 10. Now, we know how to do this. Divide both sides by 10 because that's the inverse operation. X equals 1. So I have now found the value of x. Now I'm going to find the value of y by substituting my answer, here's my answer, to find the other variable. Now remember, I told you that you could use either one of the original equations. I'm just going to start with the first one, which is y minus 2 times 1, because that's the value of x, equals 4. Y minus 2 times 1 is 2, equals 4. Inverse operation, I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and this tells me y equals 6. Okay, so x and y, and you can write your answer like this: 1 and 6. I'll accept either way, one of these two ways. All right, let's practice some. So here we have two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. Now, I'm going to choose an equation to work out, and of course I want to choose the easier one first. And so I'm going to go with, I'm going to start with number 2, okay? And I'm going to start by solving for x, okay? So let's just move this over here and go first, okay? It's our first step. X minus y equals 2. So I'm going to add y, this cancels, x equals 2 plus y. This is my partial answer equation for x. Now, I'm going to substitute this into equation 1, okay? Here's equation 1. 2x plus 3y equals 9. I'm going to substitute my partial value of x in right here, which would put this 2 times 2 plus y plus 3y equals 9. Then I'm going to do my distributor property. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 times y is 2y, plus 3y equals 9. Stay with me. Now, I'm going to take this 4 over through its inverse operation, which cancels. That gives me 2y plus 3y equals 9 plus a negative 5, or 9 minus 4 is, 9 minus negative 4, or 9 minus 4, you're going to get the same answer, such as 5. Okay? Then I'm going to combine my like terms, which gives me 5y equals 5. Divide both sides by 5. So y is going to equal 1. I now know the value of y. So now I'm going to take my definitive value of y, and I'm going to substitute it into either one of these two equations to find the value of x. All right? So I know that y equals 1. So let's just go with this equation right here, which is x minus y equals 2. X minus 1 equals 2. Inverse operation, plus 1, x equals 3. So there you have it, 3 and 1. Okay? So this is your x and this is your y. All right, let's practice. This time I have another equation, which is 3x plus 2y equals 12. This is equation number 1, equation number 2. X plus y equals 12. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the equation that I'm going to solve for, the partial equation first, and I'm going to go with the first one, okay? So I'm going to start my first step. I'm going to take x plus y equals 12. I'm going to subtract y from both sides, and that gives me x equals 12 minus y. This is my partial answer. I'm going to take this and I'm going to substitute it into the first equation. And my first equation now is 3x plus 2y equals 7. But I want to substitute my value of x, which goes here. 3 times 12 minus y plus 2y equals 7. Make sure I've got that right. So 3 times 12 is what? 36. Okay, now I'm going to do my inverse operation here. And I'm going to do the inverse operation of 36, which cancels, minus 36. So now I have a negative 3y plus 2y equals, and when you have a 7 plus negative 36, you're going to get 29. Is it positive or negative? Yes, it is negative, because when you have a positive and a negative, you actually subtract and keep the sign of the larger number, and the larger number is 36. Now I'm going to combine my like terms, and negative 3 plus positive 2 gives you a negative 1y equals a negative 29. Now, divide both sides by negative 1, and y is going to equal a positive 29. Now I know my definitive value of y equals 29. Remember, I can take that value, substitute it into either equation to get the value of x. So I'm just going to choose number 2. X plus 29 equals 12. Subtract 29, subtract 29. That cancels. X equals, then you're going to subtract, and when you do so, you're going to get 17, and it's going to be a negative because the larger number is negative. That's the two values there. Let's move on and practice a few. Now, we're going to have 5x plus 2y equals 1. X minus 2y equals 5. In this case, I want to choose the easier of the two that I think would be the easiest, and I think that this is where I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm going to start with equation number 2. Okay, I'm going to add 2y to both sides because I want to isolate my variable, remember? Cancel out. X equals 5 plus 2y. That's my partial value of x. Now, I'm going to take that and I'm going to substitute it into the other equation, which is equation number 1. And that equation is 5x plus 2y equals 1. I'm going to substitute this for x. 5 times 5 plus 2y plus 2y equals 1. Now, we're going to do our distributive property, which is 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 times 5 is 10y, plus 2y equals 1. I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. That cancels. And that's going to give me 10y plus 2y equals 1 minus 25 is 24. And it's a negative, correct? Yep, it is a negative. 10y plus 2y is a positive 12y equals a negative 24. You're going to divide both sides by 12. Y is going to equal a negative 2. So now we have the definitive value of y. Now, remember, you can take this value and substitute it in for either equation to get the value of x. All right, I'm just going to choose number 2, which is x minus 2y equals 5. So my value of x minus 2 times negative 2, correct, equals 5. So x, and then you're going to multiply negative 2 times a positive 2, negative 2 times a negative 2 gives you a positive 4. So it'll be plus 4 equals 5. Subtract 4 from both sides. X equals 1. There you have it. That's the value of x. And here is the value of y. So it would be 1 and negative 2 written as pairs. All right, let's do a few more. All right, so here I have 3x plus 2y equals a negative 1. 2x minus y equals 4. Okay, just checking. I thought I was doing the same one, but we're not. We're good. All right, so in this case, I have two equations. Like I said before, I'm going to choose the one that I want to work first. And that is going to be, I think I will go with number 2. So this is where I'm going to start. So 2x minus y equals 4. I'm going to use my inverse operation and bring 2x over, which cancels. That gives me a negative y equals 4 minus 2x. Now, I do have to still divide both sides by an imaginary negative 1. Because if you have a negative y, then you have an imaginary 1 there, and you have to get rid of that negative so that that y is a positive. When I do that, then I'm going to divide everything by negative 1, which gives me y equals negative 4, and then it's going to change that to 2x. Yep, so that's your new answer, partial answer. I'm going to substitute that into number 1 equation. I'm going to rewrite that equation here as 3x plus 2y equals a negative 1. Now I'm going to substitute. So 3x plus 2 times my partial value of y is a negative 4 plus 2x equals a negative 1. Okay, so I'm going to do my distributive property. 3x plus 2 times a negative 4 will be a negative 8. 2 times positive 2x would be plus 4x equals negative 1. Now, I want to move this to the other side through its inverse operation, which is a positive 8. That's going to cancel. So now I'm going to have 3x plus 4x equals a negative 1 plus a positive 8 would be a simple 7. 3x plus 4x is 7x equals 7. Divide both sides by 7. X equals 1. We have our definitive value of x. Now we're going to substitute x in for either equation, and we're going to solve for y. I'm going to go ahead and choose the second one, which is 2x minus y equals 4. So 2 times 1 minus y equals 4. 2 times 1 is 2 minus y equals 4. Okay, so I'm going to take this 2 over through its inverse operation, which is a negative y equals 4 plus a negative 2 would be 2. Divide both sides by negative 1. Y equals a negative 2. There you have it. 1 and negative 2. I think I have one. I do. Okay. So I am going to I have two equations, and I'm going to choose the one that I think that would be the easiest. I'm going to choose number 2 again. X minus y equals 2. I'm going to add y to both sides. Now my partial value here is x equals 2 plus y. Remember, those cancel. Okay, now I'm going to substitute this into the first equation, and that's going to be 2x plus 3y equals 9. I'm going to substitute that for x. 2 times 2 plus y, because that's what the value of x is, plus the 3y equals 9. Distributive property going on here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus y would be 2y, plus 3y equals 9. Now, I'm going to move this 4 over through its inverse operation. Some reason I feel like we've already done this one, but maybe not. So 2y plus 3y is 5y equals 5. Divided by 5, divided by 5, y equals 1. I know my value of y, so I'm going to substitute that in, and I could use in either equation. I'm going to use number 2. So x minus the value of y equals 2. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and guess what? X equals 3. So 3 and 1 is your answer. Guys, listen, you can get in touch with me through Miss Patton today if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer those. You can text me, call me, whatever you need to do, and I will help you. It's very important. She has your assignment for you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.